All right, welcome in everybody to another Players Only podcast. I am Vince and I'm here with Austin. And let's start off talking about sports.
All right, so something we're probably going to hit on, and basically until it's over, probably real quick, is the Women's World Cup. So at the time of filming right now, tomorrow, the U.S. versus Portugal. The big thing is in the last match for the women's, they drew. So right now, if they do not either win or draw versus Portugal, they are actually going to be kicked out of the tournament. They'll be facing elimination. So it's definitely a big game. But by the time that this gets released, we'll all know what happened. But hopefully they win. We could use another World Cup win for sure.
Yeah,
But otherwise, you catch any highlights or not so much? Yeah.
not too much soccer.
We'll skedaddle on to the NBA because there's two actually pretty decently big stories. One that's gonna irritate Vince a little bit, and the other was what everybody was talking about for the last week. But Steph Curry, he says he is the most underrated player in the NBA. Your thoughts on what Steph Curry thinks?
No. No, because everyone in the media talks about him like a top three player still. So no, he's overrated if anything.
um, but the big story that really hit the walls this week. Bronny James, he was hospitalized after going into cardiac arrest during practice. As of right now, a couple hours ago, I was looking through. He's showing good signs. He was eating fast food and playing piano, which is all good. But the big talker is like a lot of athletes have kind of come out of the woodwork and have been saying, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't be going back to playing basketball. You need to kind of rethink things a little bit. It might not be worth it because something like this could happen again." Because usually with athletes that kind of have these warning signs, you could say, they're more liable to pop up again in the near future, not late future, near. And then obviously after seeing what happened with like DeMar Hamlin this last year, a lot of more people are kind of watching these things for sure. So being the son of probably one of the best NBA players of all time and probably getting a lot of, I don't want to say push, but I think everybody knows what I mean, from his dad. You think he's going to step away in the slightest, or you think he's just going to dive back in?
No, I think he's gonna keep going at
Yeah.
USC to be a basketball player. And yeah, I mean, when it right away happened, there were a lot of people I saw, like making it about the COVID shot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, and right, I don't really know if there is a link there, potentially. But then you brought up DeMar Hamlin, and he was back practicing today,
No. Yeah, we
training
were going to
camp
touch on that here
practice.
soon.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was a little surprised when I saw that.
Oh, they're limiting kind of what he's doing, watching him, but at the same time, too, starters are only doing so much too at the same time, so it's kind of a mixed bag for sure. So,
Yep.
but as far as that NBA, did you have anything else to add there? Otherwise, we'll move right on to the
No,
NFL.
it's real quiet this time of year for the NBA, so no, none right now.
Well, it's real quiet for the NBA, but the NFL is just the gift that keeps on giving because
Yep.
not only do we have a ton of drama, we also have a ton of injuries. But my favorite story of the whole week is the drama between Sean Payton and Aaron Rodgers. So basically, Payton came out and said that he's going to do everything the exact opposite of Nathaniel Hackett, and that he was one of the worst things to happen to the Broncos team. And basically, Aaron Rodgers came out and said, "I don't know why he's attacking another coach, and to keep my coach name out of your mouth." Because Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive coordinator for the Jets. So obviously, Aaron Rodgers is going to stand up for his coach. Um, What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so I like both the comments, and I'll explain how I can like both of them. First off, Sean Payton and the Broncos team last year way underperformed, like
Yep.
way underdelivered. If you remember, I had them going to the Super Bowl, not winning it, but going there in the AFC, and then they won 6 or 7 games. You know, didn't even finish above 500. So way underdelivered. The coach was part of the problem. You know, again, some of those early games there were fumbles in the red zone
Yep.
that people have forgotten about. So again, it's not all him, but uh, you don't trade 3 number 1s and 2s and whatever else for Russell Wilson to have the same record you had a year ago. You're making that move like a year ago with the Stafford trade to go and make it to the Super Bowl. So um, I think it gives the team confidence that it's not all their fault. New season, hey, you guys still got it. Russ,
Yep.
the receivers, and then I mean, even that defense, Simmons, that cornerback, Sertan, and then they had Chubb first half of the season. Like again, they just way underperformed. And then on the Jets side or Aaron Rodgers side, I like him defending his guy. It's just what you do. Um, but otherwise, yeah, that are my thoughts. I like both sides.
Yeah. No, for sure. And hey, you gotta love just in general, just the drama aspect of it. The big drama aspect that people are loving to talk about right now is Aaron Rodgers did the one thing he was not going to do in Green Bay, and he did it for the Jets. Is he took I believe it's a $35 million pay cut,
Yep.
officially signed for the 2 years. That way, it gives the Jets a little more wiggle room to sign bigger names, more big the big talk was Dalvin Cook potentially because he was being worked out there and whatnot. But out of the big names, how do you feel about Aaron Rodgers finally taking a pay cut, basically doing a Tom Brady, right, giving the team a chance, and then potentially good old Dalvin Cook heading to the Jets?
Yeah. So 35 million over 2 years. Obviously, it shows he's all in, trying to win.
Yep.
Do I see? I mean, Dalvin Cook is walking up and down the sidelines of training camp, so it's kind of only him can only he can be that close to being signed and not get signed. Like,
Right.
he's like practicing for free, or
Yep.
just out there for free. But if he does, he does. Kind of hurts my Brees Hall pick in fantasy, at least for this
Yep.
first year. I feel like value wise, but you know, then if Dalvin Cook doesn't last throughout the season, then I'm good to go.
Right.
But no, it shows he's all in. It kind of makes me go back and think like, wow, so was Aaron like, purposely at the end of Green Bay trying to take a lot of money so that they would have made this trade or released him or something sooner? That
Right.
I kind of had those thoughts, and yeah, probably again there were the rumors, he was gonna get traded to Denver.
Yep.
There were the rumors about San Francisco when they traded up to 3 for Trey Lance that was gonna be like a key piece of getting Rodgers.
Right.
So yeah,
And
it's
yeah.
yeah,
Plus, there was a lot of that drama last year, big time, that he just wasn't gonna show up. He just wasn't. He wasn't gonna come back at all, even if he was under contract. So there was a ton of drama last year as far as Aaron Rodgers. So I'm glad it didn't last as long as last year for sure. It's just interesting that he finds a way to stay in the news.
oh yeah,
uh, kind of switching gears to kind of one of the bigger scares across the NFL. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow had a non-contact calf strain during practice. Definitely was scary. Saw the video. I sent it to you too, and it was just simply he was walking away, and all of a sudden he was grabbing his calf. Um, Personally, I think it might be a little more serious Could even be potentially like an ACL. But they're probably trying to keep it under wraps as closely as possible till they know 100%. But we'll see. What are your thoughts right now? While I tend to lose.
So I'm not too afraid of him being out long term. I mean, a matter of fact, if him or any other Bengals start slipping in fantasy drafts, that would be a great opportunity for anyone watching to snag them. Because I feel like calves normally aren't that long. It's not going to require surgery. The injury I'm more worried about is the Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey. But I guess that's like another topic. Like,
Yeah, we're getting there.
typically when you have any kind of surgery, it's not just a month and then you're back. Normally, like this could be a few months, and
Yeah,
they just get traded a third and whatever else to get them. So I'd be a little nervous if I was like a Dolphins fan with that injury over Burrow with a calf.
right.
Saw a clip today too that Burrow's never had like a normal training camp. It's like 1 year was COVID, 1 year
Yep.
he was still rehabbing from the knee surgery or ACL last year. He had got like his appendix or something taken out. I didn't know about that till
Oh yeah.
today. Um, but yeah, I think he'll be fine long term. You don't think so? You're not as optimistic, but we'll see. I'm not a doctor.
I Right. The other big news, I don't know if you saw, I just recently got released that Joe Burrow was named one of the quarterbacks for season 2 of quarterback. So if it is an ACL and he's just sitting on his ass all season, it's not going to be very compelling.
They're
So I'm
gonna need to
sure,
find someone else. Right.
right.
Or do the backup
So,
quarterback or something in Cincinnati.
right. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of how that plays out, and we'll go from there. The other big drama, because all we have is drama in the NFL, is the running back situation all across the NFL, specifically two running backs in general. Alvin Kamara, apparently he is going to be meeting with Roger Goodell to talk about the running back situation across the NFL. Um, I don't know why they choose Kamara out of all of the running backs to speak with the NFL commissioner, but apparently, yeah, he's the one that's going to be meeting with Roger Goodell to talk about the running back situation. Uh, from the look, this is the first you're hearing about it, but so your thoughts just on
Well,
the offhand.
I I guess when I heard he was meeting with the NFL, I thought it was about or Roger Goodell specifically. I thought it was going to be about his looming suspension.
Oh,
Um, so I guess yeah, when you first brought that up, talking about that, I think he's gone at least 8 games,
yep.
if not close to the full season, just with how the NFL is with suspensions nowadays. So I've already put in a couple of trades in different leagues for Jamal Williams. All of them declined, but I'll
Yeah.
send I'll up them a little bit. We'll see. But otherwise, again, there's only so much that can be done. Alvin Kamara, he's an example of a guy who's a third round pick.
Yep.
Once upon a time, he came into the league, and when he did, he was behind Adrian Peterson and Mark Ingram. AP, they
Yep.
actually gave some money to. He was fresh out of Minnesota, and training camp, and then a couple weeks into the season, well, not even just basically after training camp, they realized Kamara was their best back. Um, you know,
Yeah.
so. Right, the AP contract, that was kind of a waste, and I mean that's just an example of another guy who's a star in this league and kind of got an opportunity and wasn't the highest paid on their team or anything. So yeah,
Right.
those are my thoughts.
And then Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, they are just having some crazy drama over there because he doesn't like his contract. He wants a different contract. Basically, he was saying that he was going to be sitting out. And then the Colts said he has back spasms, back pain. He's, hurt. And then he goes and tweets, "I don't have back pain. I never said I had back pain." And yada yada yada. So the Colts are just being the Colts at this point. I mean, nothing is ever smooth with them. Your thoughts with Jonathan Taylor? He wants more money in this running back market where running backs are not getting more money.
Right, and it's not really going to happen, or it'll be similar to like Barkley 1 year and whatever
Mm-hmm.
over 10 or 12 million. And
Yep.
I'm sure a lot of that will be incentives. Um, so I will say for people that hold Jonathan Taylor like you, I think somehow, some way he's going to play week 1 and
Yep.
throughout the season. I'm not too worried yet. I just I'm nervous because new quarterback there, or when Richardson
Yep.
does start to play, and right with this current news and drama they got going on, they have like dumpster fire written all over them this season. I
Yeah.
just don't see them winning more than 8 games. So
Right. And the thing though too with Jonathan Taylor, the way I see it is he doesn't necessarily have the luxury of sitting out because going into last year, he was the number one running back, right? All eyes were on him, and then he kind of had a shit year last year. It wasn't very good. Now, granted, the Colts were awful, so there wasn't too much that he could do.
yeah,
But he's also looking like he could be one of those injury-prone running backs. You know, if he carries the weight of the team, he's just going to keep getting hurt. So he doesn't really have as much leverage. I feel like as somebody like Eckler would, being a vet. Um, so he's not going to get that kind of range. So I agree. He's kind of in the same boat as Barkley. Barkley always gets hurt, but he also has the team on his back. So they're both in the same situation at the end of the day. And he needs to play his cards right, or otherwise he's going to be out of a job like Mr. Dalvin Cook currently. So,
right.
um, and then we already kind of touched on this, but Jalen Ramsey, he underwent some major surgery. Um, Initially, they were saying he was going to be out for the year, but I did see a couple things today saying that he might not be out for the full year. He could come back towards either the end of the year or playoffs potentially. Um, I didn't see the actual specifics on that, so I know you already kind of touched on it, but you have anything else to?
Yeah, so I mean, I was actually right. I think we saw the same injury and heard about getting the knee surgery, but I saw people making it sound like he was going to be back in September. They were hoping it. I was the
Jesus.
one like, typically, again, when you have some kind of surgery, it's multiple months.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, I think it'll be so. The Dolphins are already kind of looking like, ooh, this might be a rough year for them. Not full on dumpster fire, but
Not yet.
a little messy. They also just brought in Eli Apple, who I guess has
Yep.
beef with Tyreek. Um,
And I heard Tyreek is having a rough go of it currently during training camps. So he's apparently not obviously not as fast as he used to be. But he's also has not been catching balls like he used to be either. Apparently, so apparently he's a little rougher on the edges, but he's Tyreek Hill. He'll get back into it. So it
yeah,
shouldn't be too much of a worry. You would hope, but we'll
yeah.
see.
And I mean, again, too, if they're behind by a lot of points every game, for fantasy owners, that might be good because they'll just be throw, 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 and he
Yep.
catches a lot of balls. We'll see.
So I've never heard of this wide receiver. Maybe you have, but the Broncos wide receiver Tim Patrick suffered an ACL tear during training camp here, so he's done for the season. I haven't heard of him before. I don't know if you have.
Well, a little bit. Because he's younger and he was out all last year with an ACL tear.
Oh,
So, yeah, he's going to miss a whole nother season with another injury.
well, he's
Uh,
probably done.
yeah, yeah. As someone with Cortland Sutton on their team, I was glad because I think Tim Patrick can play. Or 2 years ago, towards the end,
Mhm.
he showed he could play. But yeah, so that's good for Cortland Sutton. Never good to hear an injury. Um,
Right.
I think they'll be fine in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nick Bosa, he's sitting out currently. He wants a new contract and he wants it right away. uh, and yeah, as of right now, there's no deal being made, no deal being done. How much longer do you think Nick Bosa is going to have to sit before he actually starts practicing?
Yeah, I think it's gonna come sooner than later. It's funny he's not a like quarterback, running back, receiver, so it's not something you
Yep.
hear about every day that
Yep.
he's holding out. But yeah, I don't think too much longer. They need him back in that
Defensive.
defense. He's better than
Oh
his
yeah.
brother.
Yep. Defensive Player of the Year last year. So. And then we kind of already said this, but Damar Hamlin, he's back at training camp. He says he's feeling great, no issues. They are watching him a little bit, just in case. But again, last year it was a freak accident, right? It was just it went the pain or whatever went to his heart the wrong way, the wrong timing, and that's just what happened. So as of right now, they are watching him just in case, but he's feeling great. So nothing too much to dive in there. But
Yep.
the big news that you and I most will love to hear, I should say, is Daniil Hunter. He got his new deal signed with the Vikings. So he's finally going to be practicing. The defense desperately is going to need him.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear that he's not going to be have to hold out any longer. Did not blame him for holding out for the second because we were definitely getting him way too cheap for the kind of player that he is. It sounds like he's going to get up to like 17 million this year. Um, and he says he wants to be a Viking for life, and man, I hope so because he's way too good to just let go.
hmm Yeah. He was still playing good last year, so
Yeah,
it's good, right? They get
definitely.
one more year.
Yeah. And then that's all I have for sports. Did you have anything to touch on there?
No, no, we covered everything.
Switching to gaming, I only had one semi big story, and this is more of a kind of make of it what you will. But Hasbro wants all the old like Transformers games back from Activision, and Activision is basically shrugging their shoulders, saying, "Ah, we lost them." So apparently, Activision has lost a lot of games, and they don't know where any of them are. So, which makes it really interesting, especially as this deal is finally closing with Microsoft, and kind of the sketchiness stuff is starting to come out of the woodwork a little bit. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to kind of come out as this Microsoft deal is slowly getting done, and we'll keep our eyes on it. But it was really interesting to just say that they just lost games apparently. So,
Yeah,
and it's not
that's
like it's a small IP either. It's Transformers. So,
yeah, that's yeah. How do you just lose games, data,
right.
ROMs? Weird.
As far as gaming, anything you want to talk about? Anything you want
I
to touch on there?
I will say I still get a whole lot of TikToks about the Xbox or Microsoft buying Activision, and then
Yep.
Call of Duty's all right away always brought up. Um, still excited to get it on Game Pass or just see it. Go to Game Pass, all the old games.
Yep.
See people playing those somehow. Right now on better servers without hackers and stuff, but yeah.
Yep. I'm interested. I'm interested. I'm waiting a little bit. I did see that everybody's buying them. Apparently, they're the top purchase games right now on an Xbox. I don't really want to spend $10 on each one because I want to have all of them. So I'm trying to wait for Game Pass, but if I have to, I'm just gonna buy MW2 just to play online for a little bit at the very
Yeah.
least. So
Yeah.
I'm excited, but we'll see.
Yeah, gaming too. So, Nintendo released a video. It was Sakurai, the creator of Smash, sitting down, some kind of interview where he was talking about creating like Melee, Brawl, and the other Smash games. And he didn't say that there would be a Smash 6.
Hmm.
Probably next year or the year after, but he said because it's so big, it's reasonable to expect, or that's like how it was translated, that there will be another Smash game.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that's some gaming news. I I think next year the next Nintendo console's coming out, and then how long afterwards until we get Smash? Probably not
Probably
too.
release
Yeah,
with the new system or something like that, or around the
yeah,
same time.
that's what I think.
Um, and kind of switching gears a little bit, we have a little bit of a new segment because a lot of what we talk about with headlines and stuff kind of deals with the business and financial sector. So we wanted to dive a little bit more into that. So we're going to try this out for the next couple of weeks and see if we like it. If not, we'll just scrap it and move on. But we're going to dive into a little bit of the finance and business stuff. Now, I'll start it off just because I'm kind of interested to see if you've heard of this news story and if you have some thoughts, because it does deal a little bit with crypto. But the SEC is going to be suing an entrepreneur, Richard Schuler, for defrauding investors out of millions through his Hex crypto assets. Schuler used proceeds up to $1 billion on an offering sale to purchase high-end watches, real estate, and jewels. And right now, he's facing 3 civil charges in New York. Have you heard too much on this?
Uh, so not this story in particular, but yeah, Richard Schuler. He goes by Richard Hart. Yeah, I've known him for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
he's into
yeah,
some deep shit right now.
yeah. The weird part about him being sued by the SEC is I don't think he lives in I know he grew up in America or Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't think he currently lives here. I think he
All right.
lives over in Europe actually. Um, or yeah, like Europe or Turkey or something. I think he moved because he like hates our government. Um,
Well, now
but
he'll definitely hate him because he's being sued by him.
yeah, but so that's so I guess just to back up a little bit, he took out a loan on the Hexiones. Was that what he
Uh,
did?
so it was an offer and sale. Uh, so I'm guessing that he sold like $1 billion worth of Hex, and then used that billion to buy up all the assets. So probably his investors' money he used basically as fraud, and then
Oh,
bought up all the extra stuff. So, um, yeah, I guess he's basically like the middleman, and then just kept that money for himself and cashed it out. So,
so with Hex too. Again, he's the founder. Um, and like his whole like YouTube and stream and everything was always like how Hex is the best crypto ever. And so here's the deal too. I like a lot of the things he says.
yeah,
Hex really isn't just a good enough project for me to put any money into, but I like a lot of the things he says.
yep.
I think he makes a lot of fair points, good criticism on other financial type of things, but yeah, I mean this hearing that surprised me a little bit. Now too, like in all his videos and stuff, he's really known for like flexing and like always bringing up all the watches he has and gold and
Yeah.
whatever else. Yeah, it's
Not
lying around.
anymore.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'll be interesting to
oh,
see how that ends.
right. And I guess this can kind of lead into I know what you want to talk about in particular. But do you think with the stuff that comes out with crypto, with the fraud stuff, these basically billionaires manipulating and whatever people like you and me who are interested in crypto and blah 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 that kind of feed into this going to deter and kind of push people away more from crypto and the things that crypto can eventually bring us to internet type of stuff and whatever. Do you think that's going to hurt that kind of market or not so much because you have more good versus the bad?
So I think like to answer the question, people are still gonna get into crypto. It's just like you think of the stock market, there's always bad news coming out about companies. People are still
Yep.
buying stocks. Stock market's still growing. Um, and I mean, again, I think back to Hex. I've known about it for years, and I never put a dollar into it, even liking
Yep.
some of the things Richard said, because there's just too many red flags. Now, 25, 26, 27, I'm probably an older crypto investor, like age wise.
Mhm.
Maybe if I was 18, 19, 20, I would have, not seen the red flags. And I'm sure, right, there are others that were hurt.
Yep.
But no, I think to answer that, crypto will still grow. Um,
For sure.
and I was going to say something too about Richard, but yeah, now I forgot. We're being like him,
Uh,
just talking about crypto and stuff, and you know.
and then to kind of dive into kind of what you were going through this weekend and what you had been using. How'd that go?
All right. So my big announcement. I knew this day would come. I didn't know it would be this soon. July 31st, 2023. I didn't know I'd be saying this. But the greatest uh, wireless company, not just in America, but in the world, is Helium Mobile. And there is no close second. So, first off, I'm using the service for free. I don't have to start paying until like October because I signed up for the beta. Brought it up north and kind of had the mindset again. I'll try to sum this up, but kind of
Yeah.
had the mindset of up north, Ely, Tower area for people wondering. Just think of like near the Minnesota Canadian border. It's not going to be that good. Blah blah blah. No, 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 no. There were spots where it was better than AT&T. I did speed tests for the people watching. And just in general, on Helium Mobile, I get better cell service inside of homes, basements than I do with AT&T. Now, there were some highways that, yeah, AT&T still did better. But like at
Yep.
my dad's place in my bed specifically, just sometimes I'll be watching YouTube, it won't load, take a few minutes, and then all of a sudden I'll get signal again. No, now I just switched to Helium Mobile. I'm good. No loading, no waiting. I thought a number of years ago, oh, well, maybe it's just this LG phone. I switched to Samsung still. No signal. Again, just this one place at my dad's place,
Yeah.
laying in bed. But and then too, you get paid for mapping or whatever, so they track you. But who cares? Google,
Right.
Apple, Facebook, they all track you anyway. So, you sign up for them to track you, which takes 2 seconds. You're paid in crypto tokens. Mobile is
Yep.
the name of the token. On average, $7 to $8 a day. Like I had 25 from the first 3 days, $25. So I've already paid for the first month just from using the
Yeah.
free service. Um, Now, am I going to sell these tokens? No, I'm going to hold on to them because I'm sure in a couple of years they'll be worth way more.
Yeah.
Um, but no, anyone in the beta, start using it immediately. Don't wait. Just need a phone with an eSIM. But yeah, they are now the greatest in wireless, coming from someone that has a background in wireless too.
And then I guess kind of diving into that, are we gonna get a special video specifically on Helium Mobile, maybe some speed tests, all that type of stuff?
I've thought about it, but anyone watching and interested, because I'm sure I'll put it in the title. I've been putting all the speed tests and stuff, and like how many tokens I've gotten every day. I've got that all on Discord. So join the Discord. Only for cool people chat. Click on that. Scroll up a little bit.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. And then as far as anything else in the finance and business, you got anything else there?
Um, no, not too much else going on that I could think of.
I got one small thing. It only relates in business stuff and the aspect of that's what the show is related to. I just finished up a new show called Succession. I kind of talked about it with you about a month or two ago.
Yep.
Basically, it's like this multi-billion-dollar company family. They're basically trying to figure out the next reigning CEO, essentially, right out of the kids. And it's just filled of horrible people that you hope never win, but you're trying to figure out who's going to win in this little game of betrayal and intrigue and all that stuff. And it's 4 seasons, like 10 episodes, well, 8 to 10 episodes each. So it's really quick. Probably one of the greatest shows I've ever watched of all time, hands down. There and this is a show with zero action. It's all talking. It's all yelling. It's just drama, and it held my intrigue the entire way. It was fantastic. There's some funny moments, but it's mostly serious. Deals with some pretty serious issues, but it also kind of dives into. They take things from like JFK or like the Kennedy family, the Trump family. They have like a Elon Musk type of character, so it takes real world things that have happened and just change things up a little bit to make it a little bit more dramatic, obviously, and then lay it out for you. They even dive into how businesses like will buy elections and all that stuff. So it's pretty scary when you're watching it to kind of think of it as a real world aspect, but it is absolutely phenomenal. So definitely give that a shot. It's on HBO. It just finished up. So, but to kind of change gears a little bit, we're going to dive into headlines because we got some interesting things to talk about,
Yep.
some eye roll things to talk about,
Yeah.
and the big eye roll thing that we have to talk about is Congress decided they were going to hold a hearing with three witnesses about aliens, even though these three witnesses aren't actually witnesses because they've never actually seen aliens themselves. They just heard from other people who have seen these aliens or have been a part of military things that have shot down these aliens. And then one of the witnesses has all this evidence and paperwork that proves aliens are real, but he can't show them in Congress because it has to be in a classified room that they weren't going to give them at the time. So it was kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
I like to refer to these kind of hearings as they are trying to not deter your attention, right? Everybody has this fascination for aliens and stuff like that. What you have to look for is, all right, this is going on. What else is going on in the world? And there was quite a few things going on at the exact same time within Congress that they probably really didn't want you to know. For starters, Mitch McConnell had like this health crisis thing where he just froze on stand and it was
Yep.
just like standing there. And it was actually kind of scary, even though he's a piece of shit. But yeah, he's just there. And you have to kind of remember everybody in Congress and in our government's like over 80, so that's fantastic. Also, Hunter Biden had this big old plea deal that was supposed to go through on the day that this Congress hearing was going through. But the judge denied it because it was one of the worst plea deals in history, and they didn't even know what they were actually pleading to. It was an absolute disaster. He thought he was basically getting complete immunity, and that's not what he was getting. And they were trying to get the judge to sign off on something that the judge can't even do. It has to be like the Department of Justice has to sign off on. It was a absolute shit show. And then there was a couple other things too. So on that crazy day when I was texting you like, holy shit, what the fuck are we going to talk about for players only because there's too much.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that day?
So the whole aliens thing, I guess we can get into that.
Yeah.
I saw clips on it, and I don't know. It didn't freak me out because I just wasn't totally convinced. And then I found out later actually the guy has lied about stuff similar to this before.
Hmm.
Um, I don't, I think it'd be more well, I mean, there could be aliens. I think it would be more obvious if they were just flying in UFOs here and then going
Yeah.
back home. Um,
Hmm.
Also, they can probably just see us on a telescope, or
Right.
whatever. Or maybe they can go invisible if their technology is so good.
Right.
But what about you? Do you believe the claims? I feel like if you
Uh,
believe everything the guy says, you could be really spooked by it. But I don't know.
Not necessarily. Now, I do believe the aliens is just mathematically, with the probability, there's gotta be aliens out there. As far as like invisible and stuff, we have that cloaking technology, so it's not too far out of like the mindset of if they're UFOs or whatever can't be invisible. It's just more if they are here, why were they just checking us out and then ditching? And why has this been going on for like 50, 60 years when all these rednecks have been saying that they've been probed and seen UFOs for all these years?
Yeah.
Where are they? Why haven't they made contact? And if they have, then why is the government lying about it? So there's a lot of like conspiracy angles you can go down. What the hell's Area 51 and everything else. Um, Now, do I believe the claims? I think it was just something made up to hide bigger things that maybe we don't even know, like the oceans all of a sudden they hit 100 degrees, which has never happened before. So there's I think it's more of a magician's trick. Keep your eyes on this and not on this
Yeah.
at the end of
That's
the
what I
day.
was thinking too. They
So
want us focused on that, and even gas prices are going back up almost $4 an hour. This distracts people from that.
right, yeah,
um, but yeah, I don't know. Right, that was one of my first thoughts. Is this is just kind of bullshit. Keep our minds
yeah,
off of something. So
yeah. The ocean thing was the one that I think the alien thing is like okay. What are they doing? And then I started hearing about the ocean thing, and that's the thing that freaked me out more than anything else.
yep,
So, and that's the thing that nobody's talking about and kind of refusing to talk about, which also is kind of scary. So yeah. And the last big headline, because honestly, this is probably the most important, is Ukraine officially was attacking Moscow, launching bombs and everything on them, and they're blowing shit up. And right now, the big names in this industry are saying that if Putin keeps getting pushed and they keep attacking Moscow, he's going to launch a nuke and just wipe out Ukraine. So that's gonna, and it's just, I mean, if something like that were to happen, right? Because there was a lot of people saying, he's not gonna attack Ukraine, he's not gonna do it, even though they were lining up forces, and now there's that pushback. Just think though, if he does launch a nuke and just wipes out basically all of Ukraine, just think of the kind of fallout that we're going to be running into, because that's easily is going to be World War III almost immediately, because everybody's going to be picking sides at that point, right? And
right.
I think China would probably line up with Russia, and there goes the world economy there. So it's just more of we could be running into something pretty big, and if one person launches a nuke, who knows who will be next? So it's something to not be ignoring, because it's definitely something that could potentially happen. Putin is off his rocker, and apparently there's been some medical stuff with him too. So who
Oh.
knows what he's capable of? So
Mm-hmm.
so keep an eye on it. I mean, that's the big thing. There's nothing that we can do sitting here in Minnesota or wherever you are, but yeah, something to watch. So.
Yeah. It's yeah, we'll see. I feel like that whole he's gonna nuke them is that's been in the news for like a year on and off.
Yeah.
Like or just people talking about that. What about the actors and writers that are on strike? The
That
SAG union.
that's just more. it's kind of just standstill. I've heard that the executives, they haven't even touched base with them at all, and that's about it. So that's just kind of at a standstill, and we're already kind of seeing the effects of it because everything's being pushed back indefinitely, which is awesome. So, but
Yeah.
otherwise, I haven't seen anything too much new.
Yeah, and like they're part of it is they want some kind of protection if AI comes in and takes all their jobs. Which
Hmm.
should that be like the union's like whatever you want to say duty? Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe not. It's some right. We'll probably have to face someday, but right now, if you ever see like those AI cartoons on social media, like the South Park ones, they're just so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's cool that it's fully automatic, but
Hmm.
it's just I don't know. It's just junk.
Yeah,
Like,
and then like I've messed with that AI art a little bit. I've sent you quite a bit when I find something at least halfway decent. But Marvel, with their Secret Invasion show, their entire opening was AI used and AI art. So it was awful,
oh,
but it was interesting still. And I was kind of surprised that they actually released it how it was because it was pretty bad.
hmm,
um, but I mean, we're getting there. I don't fault them for being scared about it. I even kind of was like back and forth because I want to write this book finally, and most of it is more I want to write it for me. But at the same time, if I'm gonna release it, nobody's gonna want to really buy it because AI is releasing their own books, and AI already is releasing its own book. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting time we're in right now for sure.
right, right. Um, but yeah, I mean, right. It's still just not good enough. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
often they do like a union contract, but I think we're still a year or two before we just see these massive, or just everything goes to AI.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 to 10 years, but I know
Yeah.
their biggest thing is the streaming stuff because their last contract was before Netflix and everything was really kicking off, and then like
Oh.
a lot of them are getting like literally pennies as far as um, I forget the word, but royalties. Um, so that you can't really fault them too much on because obviously executives are making shit ton of money. It shouldn't be pennies. I don't know how much it should be. I'm not in that kind of business or field or whatever. So I don't know if what they're asking for is too much or too little. So I don't know. But
Yeah, there was protesting outside of Netflix too, you know.
yep. Outside of
The,
Netflix, Disney, and
the guy that played Ned's Declassified
yep.
on that old Nickelodeon show, yeah, he was there. He had a TikTok about it. That's all I know.
That and he actually has his own podcast and stuff too. All those
Oh,
old like Nick shows, they have podcasts and stuff
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
They pop up from time to time.
I get a lot, yeah. I for whatever reason get him kind of a lot on TikTok.
Yeah,
Show was all
so
right.
it's all right.
Back in the
It's
day,
all
it was
right.
all right.
But that's all I had. I don't know if you had anything else.
Uh no, I think we just about hit everything.
The important stuff at
Yeah.
the very least.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see what happens this week.
yeah.
All right. Peace out, everybody.